Well, greetings. I see that you're still here and that you're interested in finding out how my first week went after giving myself the jab of Mounjaro. So it has been a week. Today is March 13th, and I'm getting ready to take my second stab of the Mounjaro. Mounjaro package. This is what the Mounjaro package looks like. So what I will be doing, of course you want to look at all your directions and everything. But this is the needle and the apparatus that is used for this. Now I'm currently taking the smallest amount, which is a 2.5 milligram of 0.5 milliliters. So what you wind up doing is to pop this off. Well, I just pulled it off with my teeth. And so you see the needle is right in here. So what'll happen is I'm going to take this, I will apply this area here to my stomach. It'll be the opposite side of the stomach than I used last week. And then I will press this button up here. Once you press that, you hold it down and then you wait for up to 10 seconds for it to click. That's the sign that all the medication has been delivered to the site. The last time I did this, it was like maybe a second. So it could happen very, very fast. Before I can do this, I'll be switching from locked to unlocked. They really make these things so they can work wonderfully for people, but they are a little bit like the child-proof top on the aspirin. Sometimes these things can get more complicated than you would think they would be. So in any case, I'm approaching 9 o'clock now. I'm going to go ahead and inject this, and I will be back with you shortly. All right, time for the drum roll, if you get into that sort of thing. Okay, I'm looking at my journal. It shows that on March 6th, 2026, which was a Friday a week ago, my weight was 312.8 in the morning. These are all in the morning before 6 o'clock. On March 7th, Saturday, it was 312.8. Oh, March 6th on Friday, it was 311. Okay, now going back in order, on March 8th, Sunday, 5:20 a.m. was 311.7. March 9th, Monday, at 4:35 a.m., it was 312.6. March 10th, Tuesday, 4:35 a.m., 309.9. That looks to be my low for the week. March 11th, Wednesday, 3:35 a.m., 314.3. March 12th, 2026, Thursday, 4:12 a.m., we were looking at a number of 314.1. And then this morning, March 13th, Friday at 5:05, 311.7. So it looks like in that 1 week, I have gained 0.7 pounds. Now, I don't get too upset about that, and you shouldn't either. This is the beginning of my Mounjaro journey, and there's all kinds of things that can impact your weight. The idea is that this medication is supposed to help with the blood sugar, the insulin, and the weight. And there are all kinds of things that can affect it. The scale doesn't always, that it's not always that reliable. It seems to me sometimes it's a little high or low, but I don't know. I always use the same scale. I'm hoping over the course of time it'll show, a justification for this medication. So don't get too excited whether it's goes up a little or down a little. What we're looking for is over time that you have a reduction. Now, there are other things that can impact your weight and how this all works. One of them is, of course, the type of food that you eat. When I go out to work, I work 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesdays, we get restaurant food. Either we go out and eat it or we have it delivered to the office. I think that might have some impact on my weight when you're eating clearly processed foods. So yeah, as far as food goes, no alcohol. I try to eat as much protein as possible. That's something that I've seen all over the YouTube as far as what you want to do with the as a complement to the Mounjaro medication. So I typically eat somewhere between 2 and 4 eggs in the morning, sometimes with a couple of those little gluten-free pieces of bread. Lunch frequently is also those eggs if I'm not at work. Today I'm having tuna fish. And then dinner, it may be chicken or hamburger or steak. Kind of depends, whatever my wife is putting together, if she's putting something together. Frequently this last week, there has been some sort of rice, basmati rice, in with it also. So I don't know if the rice is necessarily a good thing for the diet. I'll check into that a little bit more closely. But in any case, thank you all for following along with my Mounjaro journey, and I'll report to you again in a week.